Today I'm taking a little run out to the Fovant Badges in southern Wiltshire. More about that when we get there. And to get there it's about a 30-40 mile really pleasant ride. Through Wiltshire, and got to stop for petrol first, as seems to be always the case. And I'll bring you back in when there's anything nice to see or anything specific to say. Join me on a sunny mid-September day. I think I'm filming this on about the 12th of September, just after 2 in the afternoon. Glorious day, a little bit cooler than it has been of late, 16 degrees at the moment. Very cold morning. Last couple of mornings we've had here in Wiltshire almost a frost, probably been down to 2 or 3 degrees overnight, something like that. This is Upavon, kind of middle of Wiltshire, 4 or 5 miles south of Pewsey, which is the small town, I think it's actually a village in Wiltshire, that I hail from. So we're heading directly south, and as I said earlier, or I think I said earlier, heading down to Fovant this afternoon, home of the Fovant Badges. Quite a scenic route most of the time. Some of these A roads that cut through Wiltshire really are terrific bike roads, notwithstanding the occasional pothole or two. Somebody flashing their lights there. Makes me wonder whether there might be a speed camera, mobile speed camera up here. This road has recently been reduced from 50 to 40. And there he is, there he is. Very, very grateful to that car, because I've still not quite got used to doing 40 along here, and I'm pretty certain I'll have been doing 50. Anyway, it's not plod, it's just some local volunteers, so I think all it is a polite letter if you get caught speeding. Slap wrist, don't do it again, kind of thing. So Netheravon is the village we're just bypassing here. We're kind of skirting Salisbury Plain as we head south. We'll see a little bit more of that in a short while. We're kind of going around the edge a little bit. Ordinarily I would go straight over this roundabout, and just half a mile or so further south we'd get to the A303. We're heading west, and this is currently a Friday afternoon in the late summer, and the A303 in this particular section is a real bottleneck. It's the bit leading up to Stonehenge. He's not stopping. Leading up to Stonehenge, where the road narrows from 2 lanes into 1. You also get the usual people slowing down to have a gorp at Stonehenge as they drive past. So anyway, we're missing that the need to filter through that lot by running parallel through a little place called Larkhill. Actually not quite so little. Larkhill may be a familiar sounding name to a lot of people. It's a garrison town. So here with the Salisbury Plain Army Training Area, there are several garrison towns, Larkhill possibly being the most significant of them. Very close by you have Bulford Camp, you have Tidworth, one or two others. So off to the left there is Salisbury Plain, part of it, and obviously quite a large swathe of it is used for army training, and is closed off to the public. There are areas that they do open up from time to time. There's even a village in the middle of Salisbury Plain called Imber, the lost village of Imber, which was evacuated, the residents were forced to evacuate during the war, Second World War, I think it was. The village was taken over by the army as effectively a training facility in anticipation, I think, of the Normandy landings. So using the kind of village as a mock French village, and anyway, it's never been returned. I think the residents were promised originally that it would be returned to their homes after the war, but that never happened. It's remained with the army ever since. They open it up a couple of times a year. Been down there once or twice, and it looks nothing like Imber would have looked prior to the army taking over, because most of the original buildings are gone, and it's just kind of lots of breeze blocks buildings and stuff that they use for their training exercises. But the church is still there, in all its glory. Beautiful church. And it's an interesting place to visit, Imber, just purely for the historical value, really. Anyway, we're have been travelling through Larkhill. There's not much to see here. We're just coming out the other side of it. The road opens up a bit, takes us down in the direction of Stonehenge, and again the plain, Salisbury Plain on the left and the right of us. Probably not getting great views of the plain particularly, but we'll be heading along here for 2 or 3 miles, and then we'll hang a left, go down past the newish Stonehenge Visitor Centre, and continue on our journey. So I'll leave the camera running for a couple of seconds. You can see this lovely straight road in front of us. It's often a frustrating road because seldom get enough gaps in the traffic, barring you want to take your life in your own hands, to make a safe pass. And obviously we've got Cardo van and God knows what in front of us here, so I'm probably not going to bother today. Still behind the Ocado van, but it looks like he's not going our way, which is great. So we're going left here. This will take us down towards the well, we'll bypass the Stonehenge Visitor Centre, which is now situated quite some distance from the stones. And in fact I think they arrange shuttle buses to take you from the visitor centre down to the stones if you don't want to walk. I think it might be 1 or 2 kilometres away. When we first moved to Wiltshire, I think I might have a go here. Yeah, no problem. Some 20 years ago, so the visitor centre is here on the left hand side. I began to say before I speeded up that when we moved to Wiltshire about 20 years ago, the Stonehenge visitor centre was more or less a sort of a glorified porter cabin right alongside the stones, you know, maybe 100, 200 metres from the stones. I don't know how long ago, maybe 10 years ago, they closed the little road that visitor centre was on, built this thing out here, which probably is much better for the overall Stonehenge landscape and all the rest of it. I'm sure it makes perfect sense. I mentioned earlier the bottleneck. That piece of road, Stonehenge incidentally, is on our left hand side, a couple of kilometres. If we were to turn left here, we'd be riding straight past it, but we're not doing that today. You see some of these barrows here, these ancient burial mounds, and there's a long barrow just there on the left. I don't know if you can see that. Oh look, here's a here's a little bit of insight into the madness. So we want to go straight on, and obviously the traffic that is predominantly crossing from right to left here does tend to, despite it saying keep clear, does tend to block the road. Very annoying. There's hardly any point trying to filter past this one car. We'll wait our turn. Here we go. Hopefully. Come on in, go. Go on in. Go for it. Go for it. Come on. There we go. You can do it. Well done. And it continues off to the right. We're actually going straight over here, and they have, of course, completely blocked the bloody road. So that's the bit we missed by coming through Larkhill. So we made a good choice there. It really is a lovely day. 17 degrees now. It's perfect riding weather. No chance of rain. Quite a lot of rain yesterday, but the roads have dried out really well. So we're going to hang a right a little bit further up here, which will take us down towards Wilton. Interesting place, Wilton. It's probably reasonably well known, mostly well known for its carpets, I think. It's been a carpet producing town for, I don't know, I'm guessing a couple of centuries or something, maybe more. And I think Wilton carpets are probably the bit that Wilton is most famous for. However, it's got greater claims to fame. Wilton, up until the late 19th century, something like 1889 or something, was the county town of Wiltshire. So, you know, little Wilton obviously had a fairly significant past to being the county town of Wiltshire. I think the county town of Wiltshire now is Swindon, which is another thing altogether. I won't say too much about Swindon. Anyway, so yeah, Wilton, here we are. We're just kind of coming into it now. We probably won't see, I think I'm saying this a lot, we won't see a lot of, but kind of passing through. I think Wilton's notoriety, fame and fortune, presence on the British map dates back to Saxon times, actually. King Alfred the ancient kingdom of Wessex. One of the several kingdoms in the UK that were always fighting each other if they weren't fighting the Vikings. Wessex being probably, at one stage anyway, the most significant. So the kingdom of Wessex, and little Wilton here, was the capital of Wessex. So I guess that legacy is what influenced Wilton being the county town of Wiltshire for so many years. Anyway, let's go across this roundabout and continue our journey. Come on, we can do it. Yeah, here we go. Whoa! Always get them. So the carpet, am I right? I think Wilton Carpets is up here on the left hand side. I might be completely wrong about this, but I've got a feeling that big manor house there with a Wilton sign outside of it was built with the money from the carpet trade. Somebody very famous, and I can't for the life of me remember what his name was. So if we can avoid T-boning any careless drivers, we'll continue our journey. Still in Wilton. I said it's a little place relative to Salisbury. It is, but it's not entirely insignificant. Right, well, we've been following something that is chucking out a god-awful amount of smoke for a little while now. Don't know if the camera can pick it up ahead. Looks like there might be 2 or 3 lorries that are, well, I absolutely haven't any idea what it is, but it is pungent. Yeah, unless he turns off somewhere, could be stuck in this for the foreseeable. And without smell-o-vision, you obviously can't appreciate quite how pungent that is. It's horrible. Apart from the pollution, really unacceptable, it's got to be said. That's just awful. But apart from that, it's creating a lot of hold-ups for a lot of people, so shame on him or her. It's thick with smoke, especially when we get between the buildings and trees and bushes. Right, actually, I think we may have lost him. I think he went straight on there. Hallelujah. So, Fovant Badges, which are on this road, I believe, just a few miles further along. I will try and stop. I mean, obviously I can stop. What I mean is I'll try and stop somewhere where we can get a reasonable view of the badges. If I can't, well, we'll have to just see what the GoPro picks up as we pass them. I've also got the 360 camera on here, and that's got probably a better chance of picking them up. Fovant badges are regimental badges cut into the hillside, cut into the chalk, that were created by soldiers that were garrisoned nearby during the First World War, prior to them actually joining the war effort over in France, Belgium, wherever it may be. So several regiments garrisoned in this area, and I believe originally there was 20 of these badges carved out, 20 different regimental badges, of which 9 of the original ones still remain, and I've got a feeling there have been some added since, but of the original ones there are still 9. good look. We've got a good day for it because they are quite impressive. And obviously cut out by men that then proceeded to fight in the carnage that was World War I. I'm sure not all of them returned. So quite poignant in that respect. So the Badges sent a quarter of a mile up on the left. Obviously the hedgerows are not helping the situation in terms of the camera. They are immediately on the left here. I can see them from here. I'm going to try and pull in just here. I think this flag is the well, it's probably a bus stop, but anyway, no, I think this is the viewing area. Obviously in need of some refreshing, which they do periodically. They're all carved on that hillside, as I said, by the 20 regiments, all of which were garrisoned somewhere in this area. And I think the first badge was cut in 1916. So that was Fovant Badges, and this is the village of Fovant that we're coming into now. One of the many single lane, grassed in the middle country roads that you can find yourself on in Wiltshire, and I'm sure many other parts of the country as well. Lovely sunflowers on the left hand side. I don't know whether the camera picked that up. I only just caught that at the last minute myself. But a field of sunflowers. Yeah, there they are. Look, I'll see if I can get the I think the 360's on as well, so that probably picked that up. It's quite pleasant. Very nice. A welcome little detour. Pretty little place. Wants me to go right here for some reason. No, it doesn't. Not into this private road. The joys of sat-nav. It's the next right. All the neighbours looking out their windows thinking, who the hell is he? What the hell's he doing? I don't suppose I'm the first one to have taken a premature right. So actually quite a pleasant little mistake, little detour. This is very nice. I'm sure this is Fovant. Beautiful little place. Tucked away off the main road, you wouldn't even know it was here. We're back on the road now, on the A road, the A30. And this will, if we stayed on it, would take us into Salisbury. South Newton. I don't have any interesting facts about South Newton. I don't suppose anybody's got any interesting facts about South Newton. With the greatest respect to all the residents of South Newton. Nice church though. Lovely church. Look at that. Looks like a nice pub as well. This place is getting better. Sat-nav has just reliably informed me that this is actually the A36. Anybody who's interested in where So a little bit north of Wilton, northwest of Salisbury I suppose, heading up to join the A303 at I think it's Wiley. It's one of those strangely spelt places. We are very lucky in Wiltshire to be blessed with some lovely, not overly rugged, but beautiful countryside, mostly agricultural. Slightly faster bit of road now, which is quite nice. Joys of filtering onto the 303. Let's see how we do here. Yeah, no problem. Here we go. Not sure about the legality of riding on these or driving on these chevrons, the white chevrons. I suspect it's probably not advisable, but don't think it's necessarily illegal, but I might be wrong. But thank God for them, that's what I say. Very often an extra lane for a motorcyclist. Okay, let's see if we can make a little bit of progress down here. Yes, no problem. Just take this nice little clear road up to Shrewton. We'll go through Shrewton and across to link up actually with the same road that we came down that takes us down into Larkhill. So we're getting up onto the plain again now, Salisbury Plain. We're kind of on the edge of it here. Up, I think probably a little bit higher, it's a little bit more windy up here. There's not much I can tell you about Shrewton. It's quite a pleasant little place. It is, as I've said, it's very close to Stonehenge, and I think the residents of Shrewton consider themselves to be the home of Stonehenge. The town where we lived for a while, Amesbury, which is kind of a similar distance on the other side of Stonehenge, also like to claim that that's the home of Stonehenge. So Shrewton and Amesbury in I'm sure a very friendly dispute about who or where actually is the true home of Stonehenge. Neither really. Shrewton itself is a busy little, very attractive little, I think it must be a town, or is it a large village, I don't know. What you can't smell, of course, on film is the very strong country smells that I'm picking up right now. That really lovely and equally disgusting country smell that we always say is so good for us. So just coming out of Shrewton now, up the hill, and then we're in effect on the same road we came down earlier this afternoon, from Larkhill. We're obviously heading back up to Larkhill. Up here on the right there is a compound that looks very military based, and some kind of bunkers. You can see those grassy flat top bunkers there, fencing, barbed wire around the top, some kind of military installation. I've no doubt has some connection to the army training exercises in Larkhill once again.